Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here, for joining me. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas. Our Christmas was really, really special in spite of the fact that we couldn't see anyone and we were just at home. But the blessings of the season were there and they were very, very strong nonetheless. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything is fine. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm experimenting with trying to use better sound with a special microphone, but the last few times I didn't have a lot of luck with that. So if you can hear me, please make some, I don't know, thumbs up or say something. Anyways, so I thought since today is the last day of the year, and wow, what a year this has been, I was thinking of what could be the message that we can put out to ourselves as a reminder, but also to others that can really help encapsulate what happened this year. Okay, I'm heard. That's great. Thank you, Linda. And I was thinking that among the many things that probably many of us have learned this year, I think for me, one of the most important ones is the remembering that things around us can change. You know, our life, the way we know it, can change. What was real and good and working yesterday may not work anymore tomorrow. And so I think that as spiritual seekers, as I'm sure all of you are, otherwise you wouldn't be here, I think the best thing that we can do is to constantly remind ourselves that there's only one thing that never changes, and that is God. And if we are afraid of change, if change is scary, and sometimes it really is, the best thing that we can do is to go through life, go through our experiences, but with this clear understanding that we are here for one purpose only, and that purpose is to remember and find again our union with God, with our soul, with who we really are. And so this chant that I put lyrics for under this video is really all about remembering that, you know, to not let anything scare us or you know, yes, we can get upset, we can get anxious, but let's always remember that there's this center that we can always come back to, always refer back to this center of peace and perfect joy every experience that you have. And so refer it back to this. So let's chant this together, and then after the chant we're going to have a few moments of silence as always, but I would also like to guide us all into a short visualization for the new year, and hopefully this will help you to really focus on this reality of what it is that we're going to do moving forward. At this point, you know, anything can happen. We didn't know this last year, but now we do. Anything can happen. So let's just go into the new year, not with fear, not with trepidation. Let's just be warriors. Let's just go through it with the awareness that we are children of the light. Nothing can touch us. Nothing can deter us. This is what we are. And so we just go with that awareness. So let's first chant together. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things will pass, but God changes not. Patient endurance brings you to victory. Once you have God, you'll want nothing more. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. God alone, God alone, God alone's all we ever need. And let's now, with our eyes closed, stay for a moment in this awareness that if we stay in tune with God, with what we know is right, with what our soul knows is the truth, then we can, as Yogananda said, stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds and go through life's ups and downs without fear, and be always, always victorious in the end. And let's now look back to this past year, 2020, and let's look at various highlights that you might have had. Some were good and pleasant, and so be grateful for those. And maybe some others were not. All of a sudden, things changed from one day to the next. And feel, even in the midst of the challenge, try to mentally step back from that experience and ask yourself honestly, what did I learn from that? And if you still feel like, oh, that shouldn't have happened, at least be willing to put it on the shelf and say, I'm not understanding it now, but I know there's a reason, and it's a reason for my highest good. I may not see it now, but I will understand it later. And so we'll take now maybe just a minute and try to mentally go through those highlights of the year for you, and try to feel a sense of blessing through them. And also, if they were particularly challenging, just bless them. Bless them as experiences that came to you to teach you something. So let's just take a moment to do that in silence. And now, think of the coming year, 2021, and visualize it as a rising sun. And visualize yourself walking towards that sun. But as you do, feel that whatever bitterness or sense of challenge and regrets you might have from the past year, feel that you're just dropping all of them. And you're walking into the new year with a renewed sense of hope, openness, and not allowing any bad experience you might have had in 2020 to determine how you will feel in 2021. Feel yourself becoming lighter and lighter as you walk towards this rising sun of the new year. And as you discard on the way all the dead weight of any unpleasant experience you might have had. And feel that as you get closer to the new year, feel with absolute certainty that you are not alone, ever. There is a presence inside you, a powerful, loving, all-compassionate presence that guides you, loves you, supports you, and all it wants is your happiness and freedom. And just remember that anything that happened to you during the year past is a blessing. Sometimes in disguise, very, very disguised, but it is a blessing and it's for your highest good. There's no other reason for it than your highest good. And if you can see it that way, if you can look at it that way, then your life will be blessed. Remember that there's only one reason for our experiences, and it's to remind us and gradually coax us into the direction of remembering who we really are, and that's where we're going. That's our ultimate goal, is to go back to our source. And all these experiences like 2020 that might be unpleasant come because we have forgotten that. And the more we get back on track and we keep our minds and hearts focused on that, the more quickly our tests will go away, because we will have learned the lessons that they brought us. So, my dear friends, thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate each one of you and your presence, your support, and the beautiful exchanges we've had this year together. And I really wish you, from my heart, a wonderful, wonderful new year. And I look forward to connecting more with you and to just supporting one another in this amazing journey. So, Happy New Year. Many, many blessings to you all. Bye-bye.